You did it today, and you didn't even notice. Maybe it was a quiet, "Okay, where did I put my keys?" Maybe just a word under your breath as you opened a door. A whole sentence spoken to no one at all. You think talking to yourself is a quirk, but the real answer is far stranger, and it sits at the very center of how you think. That voice in your head is not background noise. It is one of the most powerful tools your mind has ever built, and you run it almost every waking second without knowing. Stop for a moment and listen to it. There it is, the narrator, the one that just said, "What narrator?" Most people believe that voice is simply who they are, but it had to be learned. You were not born with it. Watch a small child play alone, and you'll hear something revealing. They talk out loud constantly. "Put the block here." "No, not there. Big one on top." They narrate their own actions, scold themselves, cheer themselves on. A Soviet psychologist named Lev Vygotsky noticed this almost a century ago. He saw that this out-loud chatter, what he called private speech, wasn't meaningless. It was thinking happening on the outside. The child was using words to guide their own behavior, the way an adult once guided them. And then something quiet and astonishing happens. As the child grows, that speech doesn't disappear. It goes underground. The words stop reaching the lips and sink inward, becoming the silent voice you now call your own mind. So the voice in your head is, in a real sense, a conversation you once had out loud with the world, folded inward until no one could hear it. The psychologist Charles Fernyhough has spent his career studying that inner voice. He argues it often keeps the shape of dialogue. You don't just think, you ask yourself questions. You argue both sides. You coach, warn, and reassure yourself, as if there were two of you in there. Why would your mind work this way? Because that voice does real work. When a task gets hard, the words come back to the surface. You whisper the steps. You mutter, slow down," while threading a needle or parking a car. The psychologist Gary Lupien even found that saying an object's name out loud helps you find it faster in a cluttered scene. The voice isn't just talking, it's sharpening your attention. And if you've ever caught yourself narrating your own life and felt slightly silly about it, let that go and stay with this for a little longer. Because what you're about to learn may change how you treat that voice for good. So keep following along. Here is where it turns from useful to almost magical. The psychologist Ethan Kross discovered that the words you choose change how you feel. When you talk to yourself using "I," you stay trapped inside the stress. "I can't do this. I'm going to fail." But when you switch and use your own name, something shifts. "You've got this. You've handled worse than this." Kross calls it distanced self-talk. And in study after study, it calmed people down, sharpened their performance, and softened their fear, all from a single change in pronoun. Think about what that means. The same voice that can spiral you into panic can also talk you off the ledge. It depends entirely on how you speak to yourself. But the voice has a darker setting too. For some, the narrator turns cruel. It repeats the same worry on a loop. It replays the embarrassing memory at 3 a.m. Kross has another word for that: chatter. The inner voice, stuck, eating itself. And here is the strange comfort. That cruelty is not the truth about you. It is just the tool, misfiring. The same machinery that scolds you is the machinery that once helped a small child stack a block. It can be retrained. It can be spoken to. It can be made kind. So the next time you catch yourself muttering in an empty room, don't be embarrassed. You are doing one of the most human things there is. You are running the oldest companion you will ever have. The one that grew out of every voice that ever guided you, now living entirely inside your skull. You are never quite alone in there. There is always someone talking. And now you know who it is. It was you, all along, doing the thing you didn't even notice.